Alright, today I ripped off the collar on client's garment here, the under collar and the top collar together. That's it laying on the floor. And I'm making a new one because I just was not happy with how it worked out. So I got a length of thread, about 36 inches, and I wax it on the end so it'll slip through the needle a lot easier. And then take it and cut it off at an angle. Makes it a lot easier to slide it right through the eye and pull it through. You should pull it through till there's about a third of the thread showing at the bottom. And then go ahead and wax it again several times. And then we'll take it over here and hit it with the iron. And the reason for that, it actually melts the wax into the thread. And then put a knot on the end of it. It's what's called a tailor or a weaver's knot. Take it like this, make a loop, and then you twist the end of the loop inside the loop several times and pull, and you got a knot on the end. And then take your thimble and start here. The black lines on here are a 1/2 inch apart, which gives you a pad stitch. If you split it down the middle, which you should, would be 1/4 inch. Now, I always start doing them by hand there at the beginning, and then you can do 2 at once. The trick to pad stitching it so you get the correct roll on the collar, lapel, anything like that is the tension. And I can't tell you how to do it. It's just something you just have to do to get the hang of it or the feel of it. And you'll see as you work with it. If you pull it too tight, obviously you're going to create puckers in the cloth, which you do not want. Even though the piece of undercollar canvas here and the broadcloth, the wool here, are both cut on the bias, which gives them a lot of stretch. You don't want to pucker it up. Usually about at this point I'm doing 2 of these at once. When I get close to the seam though, I slow down and just put in 1 stitch at a time until I get past that little hump in the seam. And then you can speed back up. On a good pad stitch, the diagonal length of the stitch should be the same as the horizontal stitch going in. So in other words, they should be an equal distance. It doesn't always mean that they're gonna be, but that in theory is the way it should look when you're done. Now as you can see as I'm doing this, collar's creating a roll on its own as it is, and that's from keeping the tension on the stitches as I go. Now I usually cut that piece about 36 inches long because I do not like to have a knot in the middle of where I'm working at. If you're using a real thin fabric, it can show up on there. So it's easier just to do it at each end. And you notice as I get to the end here, I slow down. I'm getting ready to tie this off, and then to tie it off, usually you just go through a little loop about 5 times. We'll tie the thread off, and then just break it, and it'll break off clean and pull into the knot.